But coaching is about continuous growth. Let me ask you a question. Who here has a license to drive a car or to ride a scooter? Do you? Okay. Now, I want you to be really honest, because when I got my driver's license in Australia, I got my learner's license at 16. And the goal of the learner's license was to get my provisional license, and I had to sit a test. And then after I got the provisional license, I had to sit another test. And I probably did 2 or 3 tests. I probably did a dozen driving lessons. And today I'm 43. So that was when I was 16 and 17. How many years ago was that? 26 years ago. And I did what was required to get the license, but I've never been back for a driving lesson ever since. So you've got your license. How many driving lessons have you had since you got your driver's license? How many times have you gone back to improve your driving skills? And if you're anything like me, you probably think that you're a good driver. Do you think you're a good driver? How do you know you're a good driver? Most people would say, well, I haven't had an accident. Just because you haven't had an accident, does that mean you're a good driver? Come on, you've been on the road before with bad drivers and they've almost caused you to crash. They drive too fast. They change all over the lanes. They put on their brakes at the wrong time and you almost have an accident because of somebody else. And I see accidents all the time caused by bad drivers, but good people end up in the accident because of a bad driver. So what do we tend to say? We tend to say, well, I haven't been in an accident. I must be a good driver. I haven't got a speeding fine, so I mustn't be a bad driver. But if we haven't had any lessons for 26 years, what's the likelihood that we are a good driver? How do we really know? Well, I promise you this. Nobody has ever come to my apartment and knocked on the door and said, gee, Daniel, you're a great driver. I'd love to send my wife and my kids for lessons and I'll pay you thousands of dollars. Has that happened to you? Has Red Bull or Ferrari or Mercedes rang you and said, hey, we saw you driving down the street the other day. We want you on our team. Has that happened to you? Makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe I'm not a good driver. Have you appeared in a magazine because of your driving skills? Have they interviewed you on television because you're the world's best driver, the country's best driver, the state's, the city's best driver? So what I believe is when it comes to people and their careers, they probably treat it a little bit like I treat my driver's license. Well, I haven't lost my job. I must be a good employee. Well, I haven't got fired. I've had no complaints. I got a promotion. I must be good. But without coaching, how do you get from good to great? How do you do it? Like the old dog who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've been here for 30 years. I know it all. But then you ask them, honey, you ask them the question, is there somebody who's getting better results than you? Is there somebody who's making more money than you? More sales. There's always someone who's got more in a business, isn't there? And then you look out of your business and you see people earning 2 and 3 and 4 times the amount of money. I work with some very successful real estate agents, and there's one person who's bringing in $2.5 million worth of commissions to his office every year. $2.5 million. And people in his area tell me that it's impossible to bring in $250,000 for the year. That's what they tell me. They try to tell me that it's impossible to make more than $250,000 in the year. And I look at them and I say, I work with the top performer in the area. They are bringing in $2.5 million per year. Oh, that's not possible. They're playing with the numbers. They're lying to you. I see it coming in every single month. Every time you make 3 sales, they make 30. There's always another level, isn't there? And we've got to remember that in our mind as coaches. There's always another level. Rosita, there's lawyers out there who struggle to earn $80,000 a year. There's others out there getting paid $500,000. And then you look at these other people who are getting bonuses of $5 million a year and they're doing the same job and they know better than you. They went to the same school as you. There's always another level. And that's how we want to think of coaching. So who needs coaching? Everybody needs coaching.